Success isn't something you achieve by chasing after it once in a while. It's something that happens every single day, little by little, step by step. That's the power of systems. We all have goals, right? They give us something to aim for, something to work toward. But here's the problem: goals are often a destination. And once you reach them, it's easy to lose your sense of direction. We set goals, work hard to hit them, but once they're done, we feel like we're left without a plan, or worse, we feel lost. The secret to lasting success doesn't lie in goals. It lies in the systems you create and follow day after day. A system isn't just a list of things to do. It's a framework, a way of thinking, a daily process that guides you to achieve results you can build on over time. What if instead of obsessing over the outcome, you focused on building a system that consistently works for you, regardless of whether or not you hit the specific goal you had in mind? A system is something you can rely on. It's something that doesn't depend on motivation or even inspiration, because it's simply a part of who you are, and it's something you do every day, every day. Now, let's be clear, goals are great. They give you direction, and they can motivate you when things get tough. But they are short-term. They have a starting point, and they have an end. Once you achieve them, you can often find yourself asking, what now? And that's where systems come in. A system doesn't have an endpoint. It's something you can continually improve, refine, and grow with. So when you focus on building strong systems in your life, those systems will naturally drive you toward the results you want. Think about it. A goal like I want to lose 20 pounds is one thing. That's a good goal, a motivating goal. But without the right system in place, it's easy to start strong and then fizzle out after a few weeks. A system for losing weight, on the other hand, would involve things like consistently eating healthy meals, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. If you have the right system, it's not just about the end result of losing weight. It's about making healthy choices a habit, something you do without thinking. The system itself becomes the focus, not just the goal. The beauty of a system is that it doesn't rely on short bursts of motivation or willpower. When you have a system, you don't need to feel motivated every day because your actions are already built into your routine. You do them automatically. Systems work best when they're consistent and easy to follow, something that becomes second nature. The more you do something, the more it becomes part of who you are. The results come naturally. Think about the most successful people you know. Do they seem to get ahead effortlessly? It's not because they're lucky. It's because they've built systems in their lives that set them up for success every day. These systems allow them to stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep making progress even when the journey gets tough. Now, the process of creating your own personal success system starts with looking at your daily habits. 7 to do Ard-Sam Sting. What do you do every single day? What actions are you taking right now? If those actions are aligned with your goals, you're on the right track. If they're not, it might be time to start making some changes. A system isn't something that works overnight. It's something that grows and evolves with you. But the key is that it's based on consistency. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up every day and doing the things that will move you forward. Every small effort compounds over time. It's not the one big moment that will change your life. It's the little moments stacked on top of each other that will make the biggest difference. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do today that will bring me closer to my goal? It doesn't have to be something massive. Just a small action that you know deep down is part of the system you're building. The small actions are what make up the bigger picture. Consistency is crucial. If you're consistent, the results will follow. It's like planting seeds in the ground. You don't see the tree the moment you plant it, but every day you water it, and over time, it grows. Your system is the same way. It's the water that nourishes your success. You won't always see immediate results, but if you keep showing up, the results will come. But here's the thing about systems, they're not static. Over time, you'll need to reflect and adjust. You might notice that some parts of your system are working while others aren't. Maybe you're doing things that aren't as effective as you thought, or maybe you're not focusing on the right habits. That's okay. The key is to keep adjusting your system as needed. Reflection is a powerful tool. It helps you learn from your experiences, make improvements, and keep moving forward with even more clarity. As you go through this process, you'll inevitably face challenges. Obstacles will come up. You'll feel like giving up some days, but that's when your system becomes your greatest ally. When you've built a strong, reliable system, you don't have to rely on motivation alone to keep you going. Your system will push you forward even when you feel like you can't. It's the safety net that keeps you on track. Challenges arise. You'll look at them differently because you know they're just part of the process, not the end of the road. Now, living your system isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing it consistently, day after day. It's about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that the results will come in time. The beauty of living by your system is that you're not dependent on a burst of motivation or a single moment of inspiration. You've built a foundation that carries you through the highs and lows. The transformational power of consistent action is undeniable. Success isn't about magic or shortcuts. It's about showing up, doing the work, and making daily progress. A system gives you the structure you need to keep going, no matter what's going on around you. Remember, your goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be consistent. Every day you follow your system, you're laying the groundwork for the life you want. Every small effort compounds into something much bigger than you can see right now. So stop chasing the next goal. Instead, focus on building the system that will carry you to greater success than you ever imagined. When you do that, you'll see that the journey itself becomes the reward. When you focus on building a system, your mindset shifts. You stop thinking about success as a distant, far-off destination, and you start recognizing it as something that's unfolding every single day. Every action you take, no matter how small, adds up to something significant over time. And that's what systems do. They help you make progress. Even when it feels like you're not moving fast enough, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of achieving something huge, but often it's the small daily efforts that make the biggest difference. Let me explain it this way. When you're chasing goals, you're constantly looking ahead, and that can feel overwhelming. The mountain always seems so far away, but when you're building a system, you can take it one step at a time, day by day. And before you know it, you've made incredible progress. Here's a key point that many people miss. The systems you build today will pay off tomorrow. It's not about the instant results. It's not about checking off the boxes every single day. It's about creating a way of living that keeps you moving forward no matter what. Some days will be better than others. Some days will feel like you're running in place, and that's okay. But as long as you're consistently following your system, you're moving towards something greater. Now, let's talk about the daily habits that form the backbone of your system. These are the things you do every day, whether you feel like it or not. The key to success is to make sure that these habits are aligned with your long-term goals. If you want to be healthy, then your daily habits should include things like eating nourishing food, exercising regularly, and getting enough rest. If you want to grow your business, your habits should include things like reading, learning, and making time to work on your projects every single day. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to drastically change their lives all at once. The reality is, Small changes compound over time. It's the tiny shifts that build momentum. Think about how you brush your teeth every morning. It's something that's become so automatic, you don't even think about it. That's the kind of consistency you want in your success system. You want your daily habits to become as automatic as brushing your teeth. It's just what you do, and because you're doing it every day, over time, you see results. But here's the catch: not every day will be perfect. There will be days when you miss a workout or you don't eat as well as you should. There will be times when you feel like your progress is slower than you'd like. And that's okay. The power of a system is that it gives you the freedom to keep going even when things don't go perfectly. A system isn't about perfection. It's about showing up and doing your best, no matter what. Consistency doesn't mean you never make mistakes. It means you keep going, even after you've made them. It means you don't let a bad day derail you from the path you're on. Instead, you get back up, review your system, adjust as needed, and keep moving forward. Success isn't linear. There will be ups and downs, but if you're following a system, you have a roadmap that will guide you back to where you want to go. The beauty of focusing on systems is that they take the pressure off of you. You're not constantly scrambling to hit a specific target. Instead, you're building habits and routines that will support your long-term success. And when you have that kind of structure in your life, you don't need to rely on motivation or willpower every day. You just do the work because it's part of who you are. It becomes second nature. Now, I want to talk about something crucial: reflection. It's easy to go through the motions of following your system day after day, but if you're not taking time to reflect on how things are going, you're missing out on an important opportunity for growth. Reflection allows you to look back and see what's working, what's not, and what needs to be adjusted. This is how you continue to improve and refine your system over time. The key to reflection is to ask yourself the right questions. What's working? What do I feel good about? What do I need to change? And most importantly, what can I do differently to make my system even better? When you reflect, you take the guesswork out of your journey. You're not waiting for some moment of inspiration to strike. You're using your past experiences to shape your future. This is how systems evolve and become more effective over time. The power of a well-refined system is that it becomes a part of you. When you've developed a system that works for you, it stops being something you have to think about. It's just what you do. Your habits support your goals in such a way that you no longer have to exert massive amounts of energy to make progress. It's automatic. Your system becomes the foundation of your success. But let's not sugarcoat things. Life will still throw obstacles your way. It's easy to get frustrated when things don't go according to plan. But that's where your system shows its true strength. Systems are built for these moments. They give you a structure to lean on when you're feeling stuck. Instead of relying on motivation to get you through the tough times, you can fall back on the daily habits that keep you moving forward. Whether it's a morning routine that sets you up for the day or a weekly review that helps you stay on track, your system is the thing that keeps you grounded when the challenges arise. Staying committed to your system isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. There will be days when it feels like nothing is happening, when you can't see the progress you're hoping for. But if you keep showing up, if you keep doing the work, even on the days when it feels tough, you will start to see the results. And those results will compound over time. Success is built on consistency, not perfection. Living by your system is what gives you the power to keep going, even when you face setbacks. It's what helps you bounce back after failures. It's what keeps you moving forward when the path gets rocky. The real transformation happens not when you hit a big goal, but when you start living in alignment with a system that supports your growth every single day. So, the next time you set a goal, ask yourself, what system can I build to support this? And then focus on showing up every day, you're doing the work, and trusting that the system will guide you to where you want to go. It's not about the end result. It's about the daily actions, the habits, and the consistency that will carry you to success. Build the system, follow it, and watch your life transform. Creating a personal success system begins with one simple realization. It's about consistency, not perfection. When you begin to understand that success comes not from sporadic bursts of effort, but from regular, focused action, everything changes. The real question you need to ask yourself is, what daily habits can I put in place to ensure that I move closer to my goals? These small daily actions are the foundation of the system you're about to build. Start by identifying the key areas in your life that you want to improve. Whether it's your health, your career, your finances, or personal development, figure out where you need to focus your energy. Once you know where you want to grow, think about what specific actions you can take each day that will move you forward. These actions are the building blocks of your system. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, your system could include things like exercising for 30 minutes every day, drinking a certain amount of water, and planning your meals ahead of time. If your goal is to grow your business, your system could involve dedicating specific hours each day to focused work, setting aside time to learn new skills, or reaching out to potential clients every week. These aren't huge, life-altering actions. They're small, simple, and most importantly, repeatable. Once you've identified these key habits, it's time to integrate them into your routine. The power of a system comes from making these actions a part of your daily life, not something you have to think about or force yourself to do. When they become second nature, you no longer need to rely on motivation to get them done. They become as automatic as brushing your teeth. But here's the secret. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many changes at once. Start small. Focus on one habit at a time. Build that habit into your system until it's effortless. Then add another. This gradual approach allows you to build a system that's sustainable, something you can maintain long-term without burning out. Focusing on daily habits. At the core of any successful system are your daily habits. These are the actions you take each day that compound over time to produce extraordinary results. Habits are the foundation of your success system because they're the things you do every single day without fail that ultimately define your life. If you think about it, the difference between someone who is successful and someone who isn't often comes down to the daily choices they make. Successful people don't rely on big, dramatic moves. Instead, they make small, strategic decisions every day that add up. Whether it's choosing to work on a project for an hour every morning or deciding to read for 20 minutes a day, these seemingly small actions have an outsized impact over time. When you focus on daily habits, you remove the pressure of needing to achieve big things all at once. You're not stressing about how much you need to do in a month or a year. You're simply showing up, doing what you know you need to do, and trusting that the results will follow. This is what makes systems so powerful. They allow you to stay on track even when the big goals seem far away. Think about one of your goals right now. What's one small action you can take today that will move you closer to that goal? It doesn't have to be monumental. Maybe it's writing for 15 minutes, or maybe it's setting aside 10 minutes to plan your day. These habits don't seem like much in the moment, but they add up And over time, they lead to massive progress. So start focusing on the small habits, make them part of your daily routine, and let them compound. These small, consistent actions are what will change your life in the long run. The important success doesn't come from one great day of effort. It comes from showing up day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is the key that unlocks the door to success. Without it, all the best intentions in the world won't matter. Think about it. If you decided today to work out for 2 hours, you'd feel great afterward. But if you never work out again for the next 2 weeks, that one day of effort won't make much difference. On the other hand, if you commit to working out for 30 minutes a day, every day without fail, you'll see results over time. That's the power of consistency. Consistency isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something every day, no matter how small. Even if you only have 5 minutes, do something. That consistency over time will produce results you can't even imagine right now. The key is to stick with it, even when you don't see immediate progress. The results won't always be instant, and they may not even be visible at first. But if you're consistent with your system, you will eventually see the fruits of your labor. It's the daily, consistent action that builds the momentum you need to create lasting success. Measuring. One of the biggest advantages of building a system is that it allows you to measure your progress in real time. With a goal, you often don't know how you're doing until you hit the target. But with a system, you can see your progress every single day, because you're tracking your habits and routines. For example, if you set a goal to write a book, it can feel daunting. But if you've built a system where you write woo-back-words every morning, you can measure your progress daily. You don't need to wait until you've completed the entire book to see that you're making progress. Every day, you're putting words on the page, and that's measurable. This daily tracking of your habits not only keeps you on track, but also boosts your motivation. When you see that you're consistently moving forward, you feel a sense of accomplishment. This positive reinforcement encourages you to keep going. Your system is built for success, and you can measure that success every day through the actions you take. The beauty of measuring progress through systems is that it helps you stay focused on the process rather than obsessing over the outcome. If you're focused on doing the right things every day, the results will follow. You don't need to stress about how far you have to go. You just need to keep showing up and taking action. The role of reflection and adjusting your system. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools in your success system. It allows you to take a step back and look at what's working and what's not. It gives you the opportunity to make adjustments and refine your system so that it continues to serve you better. Without reflection, it's easy to get stuck in the routine and not notice when things are going off track. Maybe you're spending too much time on tasks that don't move you closer to your goals, or maybe there's a part of your system that isn't as effective as you thought. Reflection helps you see where you need to make changes. Every week, take time to evaluate your progress. What's working? What could be improved? Are there any habits you need to adjust or replace? Reflection is an essential part of building a system that works. It helps you fine-tune your actions and make sure you're always moving in the right direction. The beauty of reflection is that it allows you to make small, incremental improvements to your system, which leads to long-term success. As you adjust and refine, your system becomes even more powerful, helping you achieve your goals faster and with more ease. Overcoming challenges will inevitably rise. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when you want to throw in the towel. But that's when your system becomes even more important. A well-designed system gives you the structure and support you need to stay committed, even when things get tough. When obstacles appear, don't let them derail you. Stay focused on your system and trust the process. If you're following the right system, it will guide you through the tough times. It's during these moments that your system will prove its worth. If you face setbacks, use them as learning opportunities. Reflect on what happened, adjust your system if needed, and keep moving forward. The key to success isn't avoiding obstacles, it's how you respond to them. If you stay committed to your system, you'll overcome challenges and keep moving closer to your goals. Living the system, the transformational power of consistent action. Living by your system is where the magic happens. When your system becomes a part of who you are, success becomes a natural byproduct. You don't need to chase it. You simply need to follow your system and trust that the results will come. Over time, this consistent action transforms your life in ways you might not even expect. Success isn't about hitting a single goal. It's about creating a system that allows you to continually grow and improve. When you live by your system, it becomes easier to achieve your goals because the process becomes a part of your identity. The power of consistent action can't be overstated. When you live by your system, you create a life that is built for success every single day. And that is the real transformation. When we talk about success, most people think about goals, big, ambitious targets that promise fulfillment and achievement once you hit them. But the truth is, focusing solely on goals can often set you up for disappointment. Why? Because goals they give you something to work toward, but they don't tell you how to get there. You could work toward a goal for weeks or months only to find that once you achieve it, what's the less? You're left wondering, what now? That's where systems come in. A system is a structure, a reliable process that you follow every day. It's a way of organizing your actions in a way that doesn't rely on motivation or inspiration. Instead, it's built on consistency and the small, repeatable actions you take every day that compound over time to create massive results. So, how do you create your personal success system? Start with your vision. Before you can create a system, you need to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. But I'm not talking about vague dreams like I want to be successful or I want to get fit. That's not enough to build a system around. You need specifics, you need clarity. Take some time to really think about what you want your life to look like. What does success mean to you? Is it financial freedom? Is it having a healthy body and mind? Is it building meaningful relationships? Whatever it is, make sure you define it clearly. Let's say you want to improve your health. That's a great vision, but it's still too broad. Get more specific. I want to lose pounds and increase my energy. Or perhaps I want to be able to run a UK without stopping. The more specific you are, the easier it will be to create a system that works for you. Break down the vision into habits. Once you've got a clear vision, the next step is to break it down into actionable, daily habits. This is where many people get tripped up. They think that if they just set a goal, the rest will fall into place. But goals don't work like that. A goal without a system is like a map without a destination. It's useless. For example, if your vision is to lose pounds, think about the habits that will get you there. Maybe you need to eat healthier, exercise regularly, or get more sleep. A good success system takes into account the small actions you can take every day to support your vision. Here's where you start putting those actions into a routine, something you can do consistently without feeling overwhelmed. When you build your system, make sure that the habits you choose are sustainable. Success doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from doing the right things, day in and day out, and making those actions a part of your daily routine. If you're trying to eat healthier, your system might include preparing meals in advance, drinking more water, and making sure you exercise at least 3 times a week. These are small actions, but when done consistently, they add up to something big. Your daily routine is the foundation of your success system. If you don't have a solid daily routine in place, you'll find it much harder to stay consistent. A routine eliminates decision fatigue and creates structure in your day, making it easier to stay focused on what matters. It also frees you from constantly having to think about what you should do next. Start by looking at your day. What are you already doing, and how can you align those activities with your system? If your goal is to get healthier, start by adding 1 or 2 key health-related habits into your day. Maybe you wake up Sanchez minutes earlier to fit in a workout, or perhaps you start meal prepping for the week every Sunday. It's about creating a predictable structure for yourself, one that supports your bigger vision. Keep in mind that it's not about doing everything at once. Your system should be something that's easy to follow and doesn't require a massive overhaul of your life. You don't need to go from 0 to EBAT in one day. The beauty of systems is that they allow for gradual progress. The small steps you take every day will accumulate and, over time, lead to massive results. Set non-negotiable standards. The key to a successful system is that it's non-negotiable. That means you're not allowing yourself to skip the actions you know are necessary for success. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it today, or if things are too busy. Your system is built around habits that you commit to no matter what. This doesn't mean being rigid or unreasonable. It simply means that you've set standards for yourself that you follow because you know they'll get you closer to your goal. For instance, if you've committed to exercising every morning, then that becomes a non-negotiable part of your system. If you don't feel like working out, remind yourself why you're doing it. Stick to your routine because you've built it on consistency and long-term results, not on feelings. Having non-negotiable standards is what sets successful people apart. They show up every day, regardless of their mood or circumstances. When you live this way, you can't help but build momentum. And momentum is what takes you from where you are now to where you want to be. Make your system simple. The biggest mistake people make when they try to build a system is overcomplicating it. They create a list of Worcester's things they think they need to do to be successful, and then they get overwhelmed and quit. Keep it simple. A system doesn't need to be complex to work, it just needs to be consistent. Focus on just a few core habits that will move you closer to your vision. If your goal is to get fit, focus on a few basic things: eating healthy, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. Don't overwhelm yourself with a million tasks. The simpler your system is, the more likely you'll stick with it. Another important point is to make sure your system is sustainable. If your system is too aggressive, it won't be sustainable. If your goal is to exercise more, don't commit to working out for 2 hours a day when you know you don't have that kind of time. Instead, set a goal to work out for sensors minutes a day, 5 days a week. That's much more achievable. Once you've built your system, the next step is to track your progress. Success isn't a straight line. You will encounter bumps along the way, and it's important to know where you stand. Tracking progress helps you stay motivated because you can see that even small steps are adding up to something big. Keep a journal or a log to track your habits. Write down what's working and what's not. Are you hitting your daily targets? Are there habits that aren't aligning with your system? Tracking progress isn't about perfection. It's about learning what's working and adjusting what's not. Adjustments are a normal part of the process. Your system will evolve as you learn more about what works best for you. If you find that something isn't helping you reach your goals, don't be afraid to change it. Systems are flexible, and they should evolve with you as you grow. One of the most powerful things you can do for your system is to build in accountability. When you're accountable to someone else, you're more likely to follow through on your commitments. Accountability helps you stay focused and motivated. especially on days when you're not feeling inspired. You can find an accountability partner who shares similar goals, or join a community of like-minded individuals who support each other's success. If you don't have someone to hold you accountable, you can also keep yourself accountable by setting regular check-ins. This could be a weekly review of your progress, or simply taking a moment each day to ask yourself, did I do what I said I would do today? Building a personal success system isn't an overnight endeavor. It's not about quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about trust. Trust in the process. Trust in the habits that you're building. Trust that small, consistent actions will lead to big results. There will be days when you feel frustrated or when the progress seems slower than you expected. Don't give up. Systems take time to yield results. Just like a plant doesn't sprout overnight, the system you create will take time to take root and grow. But when it does, you'll see that it works. Once your system is in place, living it becomes your new way of being. Success isn't something you chase after. It becomes part of who you are. Your system will guide you every day, and the more you live it, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you won't even think about it, you'll just do it. And that's when the real transformation happens. Creating a personal success system is the key to sustained achievement. It's not about a goal that you check off and forget about. It's about creating a process that moves you toward your vision every day. So take the time to build your system, stay committed, reflect on your progress, and make adjustments when needed. And most importantly, trust the process. When you live by your system, success becomes inevitable. On daily habits. The foundation of any successful system lies in the habits you build. You can't rely on willpower or motivation alone to reach your goals, because those things come and go. What's sustainable, though, are habits. The daily actions you take, whether big or small, accumulate over time to create extraordinary results. The difference between people who reach their goals and those who don't often comes down to their ability to consistently show up and take the necessary actions. Think about the things you do every day. How many of those actions are contributing to your success, and how many are holding you back? Every single day is an opportunity to either move closer to your goal or push it further away. That's the power of habits. They give you structure, and they're the leverage that can propel you forward. But in order to build the right habits, you need to first understand the importance of focusing on them consistently. A successful system isn't built on the occasional big effort. It's built on the small, everyday actions that compound over time. Habits are like the small pieces of a puzzle. At first, they might seem insignificant, but as they pile up, they create a bigger picture, one that leads to your vision of success. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to form new habits is starting too big. They feel the need to overhaul their entire life overnight, which often leads to burnout and frustration. The key to building lasting habits is to start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 simple habits that will move you in the right direction and focus on making them a part of your daily routine. For example, if your goal is to lose weight, don't start by committing to an intense workout schedule and cutting out all junk food. Instead, start with something manageable, like drinking more water every day or going for a walk every morning. Once those habits are in place, you can start building from there. Small wins lead to bigger ones. Over time, these small actions will compound into big changes. Remember, consistency is key. The power of habits lies in their ability to become second nature. The more you repeat them, the more ingrained they become. Eventually, you won't have to think twice about taking action. You'll just do it. This consistency is what creates long-term success. It's important to understand that habits don't form overnight. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and find that you've magically adopted a new habit. It takes time, patience, and persistence. So be patient with yourself as you work to build your system. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is lasting success. When you're just starting out, there will be days when you slip up. You might forget to follow through, or you might feel like giving up. That's normal. It's part of the process. Don't beat yourself up over small mistakes. Instead, use them as opportunities to learn. If you miss a day or struggle to stick with a habit, take a step back, reflect on what went wrong, and adjust your approach. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every time you get back on track, you reinforce the habit and make it easier to stick with next time. This is why systems are so powerful. They're designed to work with the ebb and flow of life. Sometimes you won't feel like doing the work, and that's okay. But by focusing on your habits, you make success inevitable. When you focus on the process and trust that the small, consistent actions will eventually lead to bigger results, you take the pressure off yourself to get it right every time. Stacking habits for greater impact. Once you've mastered one or two key habits, the next step is to stack them together. Habit stacking is one of the most powerful strategies for building a personal success system. It's simple. You take an existing habit that's already part of your routine and stack a new habit on top of it. For example, let's say you already have the habit of drinking a cup of coffee every morning. This is a habit you don't have to think about. It's automatic. Now, stack a new habit on top of it, like doing 5 minutes of stretching or reading one page of a book. By linking the new habit to something you're already doing, you make it easier to remember and more likely to stick. The beauty of habit stacking is that it builds on what's already working in your life. It doesn't require you to reinvent your entire routine. You simply add in small positive actions that support your goals. Over time, these stacked habits compound and help you achieve more with less effort. Focus on systems, not motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll feel energized and ready to take on the world. Other days you'll feel tired, uninspired, or distracted. But when you rely on motivation alone, you're putting your success in the hands of something that can't be counted on. That's why focusing on habits and the systems that support them is so powerful. With a system in place, you don't need to rely on motivation to get things done. The system is already set up for you. It takes the decision-making out of the equation. You don't have to wake up every day and ask yourself, am I feeling motivated to work out today? Instead, you simply follow the routine you've created for yourself. This is why habits are so critical. They remove the need for constant willpower. The more you can make your desired actions automatic, the less you'll be reliant on fleeting motivation. The system itself becomes the driving force behind your success. Track your habits and celebrate small wins. A key part of building any successful system is tracking your progress. How do you know if your system is working if you don't measure it? Tracking your habits keeps you accountable and helps you stay motivated as you see the small wins add up. Use a habit tracker to mark off the days you've successfully followed through on your habits. It could be something as simple as a checkbox or a journal where you jot down your daily actions. The act of tracking your progress helps you stay engaged with your system and reinforces your commitment. Celebrate small wins along the way, no matter how insignificant they may seem. If you've completed your daily habit for a week, that's a victory. If you've stuck with it for a month, that's another victory. Each small step forward builds momentum and reminds you that your system is working. The key is not to wait for the big success to celebrate. Celebrate the process, the small, consistent actions you're taking every day. Those are the real victories. and they'll ultimately lead to the success you're striving for. Make adjustments as you go. As you continue to focus on daily habits, it's important to be flexible. Things will change as you go along. You might find that some habits aren't working as well as you thought, or you might discover new habits that could support your success even more. That's perfectly normal. One of the advantages of a system is its flexibility. Take time regularly to reflect on how things are going. Ask yourself if there are areas where you can improve, and don't be afraid to make adjustments. Your system isn't static. It should evolve as you grow. If you find that your morning routine isn't as effective as it used to be, tweak it. If you're struggling with a particular habit, maybe it's time to try a different approach. The beauty of focusing on habits is that you have the freedom to make adjustments without feeling like you're starting over from scratch. Systems are built for trial and error. They allow you to refine your actions over time and keep you on track even when things don't go exactly as planned. The power of habits in creating lasting success. The truth is that success is not about one big moment. It's about the small, consistent actions you take. It's about showing up and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. So, the power of daily habits is that they compound over time. The more you consistently take action, the closer you get to your goals. A successful system isn't built on grand gestures. It's built on small, repeatable actions that you can do every single day. And those actions, over time, lead to lasting success. The more you focus on building habits that support your success, the more you'll see your life transform. Those habits will become ingrained in your routine, and before you know it, they'll be the foundation of your success. Success isn't a destination, it's a process. And the key to that process is the daily habits that you consistently perform. So focus on those habits, stick with them, and watch as they lead you to the life you've always dreamed of. The importance of consistency. Consistency is the secret ingredient that separates the dreamers from the achievers. It's the small, steady, everyday actions that create long-term, sustainable success. We often hear the phrase consistency is key, but too many of us underestimate just how powerful consistency really is. We get caught up in looking for shortcuts or quick fixes, thinking that success comes from big bursts of effort or hitting some magical milestone. But the truth is, success comes from the daily grind, the things you do consistently over and over again. When you commit to a system, what you're committing to is consistency. It's not about doing everything perfectly or being in the mood to work every single day. It's about showing up and doing what needs to be done day after day, no matter what. That's why consistency is more important than perfection. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that consistency means doing things perfectly. We can set ourselves up for failure when we focus too much on perfection and forget that consistent effort, not flawless execution, is what truly drives results. When you first start building a system, things might not go perfectly. You'll have days where you don't meet your goals. Maybe you'll miss a workout or forget to eat healthy. That's part of the process. The key is not to let those slip-ups derail you. Perfection isn't the goal, consistency is. It's okay to make mistakes along the way, because every mistake is an opportunity to learn. What matters is that you don't let those mistakes stop you from getting back on track. Consistency means continuing to do the work even when it feels hard, or even when you're not seeing immediate results. Think about it this way: if you water a plant every day, even if you don't see it grow right away, you trust that the plant is slowly getting the nourishment it needs. Success is the same way. Every small action you take is like watering that plant. It might not seem like much in the moment, but over time, it leads to significant growth, building momentum through. Once you commit to being consistent, something incredible happens. Momentum builds. Momentum is a powerful force. When you start consistently taking action, even in small ways, it creates a snowball effect. But you do something today, and that small action carries over to tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Eventually, what once seemed like a struggle becomes second nature. This is one of the key advantages of focusing on systems instead of goals. When you have a system in place, consistency becomes automatic. It's no longer about relying on willpower to push through each day. Instead, you've created a routine that takes the guesswork out of your actions. When you build a system, you're creating a framework where success is almost inevitable. The key is to stay consistent, to keep showing up day after day. Think about someone who's training for a marathon. They don't run absolute miles every day. Instead, they build up their endurance with consistent training over months. Each day, they get a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. They may not be able to see big changes right away, but the progress is happening. Every run, no matter how short or how slow, is building momentum that will eventually carry them across that finish line. That's the power of consistency. Another benefit of consistency is that it builds confidence. Every time you take action, even if it's a small one, you reinforce the belief that you can succeed. That belief builds over time, and before you know it, you'll be tackling bigger challenges with ease. When you're consistent, you prove to yourself that you can trust your own ability to get things done. This kind of self-trust is critical. It's easy to doubt yourself when you're not seeing immediate results, but when you consistently show up, you start to trust the process. And with that trust comes confidence. The confidence that no matter what obstacles arise, you'll find a way to overcome them. The more consistent you are, the more you build evidence that you are capable of achieving your goals. Each step you take, each action you complete, strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. The road to success might not be easy, but with consistency, you begin to believe that you're up for the challenge. It is a choice. Consistency is not about luck or talent. It's a choice. Every day, you have the option to show up or to stay home. You have the choice to put in the work or to let your goals slip further out of reach. What sets successful people apart is their ability to make the choice to show up, even when it's hard. The choice to be consistent is an empowering one because it's completely within your control. You can choose to take the necessary actions, no matter how small they seem, and you can choose to do it day after day. Action is what drives results. Success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or from trying to make every single effort flawless. It comes from showing up and putting in the work, even when things aren't perfect like that. When you commit to consistency, you're taking control of your future. You're saying, I am going to show up every day and do the work, and eventually that will pay off. And it will. It always does. The results may not come immediately, but with every step you take, you're moving closer to where you want to be. Consistency and its empowerment. Consistency can also have a profound impact on your motivation. It's easy to think that motivation is the thing that drives us to take action, but it's actually the other way around. Action creates motivation. The more consistent you are with your actions, the more motivated you'll become to continue. Think about it. When you follow through with your daily habits, even on the days when you're not feeling particularly motivated, you begin to feel good about yourself. You feel a sense of accomplishment, no matter how small the action. And that sense of accomplishment gives you a boost of motivation to keep going. It becomes a cycle. Consistency breeds motivation, and motivation fuels consistency. Why systems work so well. When you focus on the process rather than the end goal, you're giving yourself something to do every day. You're taking action even when motivation is low, and that action leads to more motivation. Over time, you'll find that staying consistent is easier because you've built a routine that you trust and rely on. Consistency, the secret to long-term success. Success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not about working hard for a few weeks and then slacking off. It's about putting in the effort day after day, year after year. It's about creating a system that works, committing to it, and trusting that the results will come if you stay consistent. When you commit to consistency, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. You're not relying on quick fixes or shortcuts. Instead, you're building a foundation that will support your goals, no matter how big or how small. The daily habits you form today are the stepping stones to the success you'll achieve tomorrow. The most successful people aren't the ones who have the most talent or the most resources. They're the ones who show up every single day, who stay consistent, who keep working toward their goals even when the going gets tough. They understand that success is a process, not an event. And the key to that process is consistency. So make the decision today to be consistent. It doesn't matter where you're starting from or how far away your goals seem. What matters is that you take consistent action every day. Trust the process and trust that your efforts will pay off over time. Consistency isn't just the key to success. It is success. Stay consistent and watch your dreams unfold right in front of you. Measuring, one of the most powerful aspects of having a system in place is that it allows you to track and measure your progress effectively. It's easy to get lost in the process and wonder if you're really making any headway at all. You may start off feeling motivated, but after a few weeks or months, the initial excitement can fade. And without a clear way to measure progress, it can be easy to lose faith. The truth is, progress doesn't always happen in big, dramatic ways. It's often the small, subtle changes that lead to long-term success. Systems are designed to make sure those small actions don't go unnoticed. Tracking your progress gives you the clarity you need to stay on course, adjust when necessary, and celebrate your wins along the way. When you have a system, you're not just working blindly toward a goal. Instead, you are working with intention, and you have a way to evaluate if your actions are taking you in the right direction. This sense of feedback is invaluable. It tells you if what you're doing is actually working, and if it's not, it gives you the opportunity to tweak things before you get too far off track. Start with small wins. The first step in measuring progress is recognizing the small wins. Small wins are the little victories you achieve every day, no matter how insignificant they may seem in the moment. The truth is, achieving your big goals isn't about hitting a giant milestone all at once. It's about the cumulative effect of all the smaller wins that lead to that big result. For example, if you're building a system to get healthier, your small wins might include drinking more water, eating a healthy breakfast, or going for a walk every day. These small actions may seem trivial, but they add up. Over time, you'll realize that the consistency of these small wins has a huge impact on your overall success. Measuring progress through small wins gives you the motivation to keep going. Each small step forward is proof that your system is working, and when you see that, it pushes you to stay on track. The more you can focus on celebrating these small wins, the more energized and motivated you'll feel. Track key metrics. The next step is to track the key metrics that align with your vision. This is where the real measurement comes into play. You need to define the specific actions or behaviors that will move you closer to your goal. These are the things you should track to gauge how well your system is working. For instance, if your goal is financial independence, the key metrics might include tracking how much money you save or invest each month, how much you're spending, or how many new income streams you're developing. If your goal is to get fit, the key metrics might include the number of workouts you complete each week, the amount of weight you lift, or the distance you run. The key here is to choose metrics that directly relate to your success and then track them consistently. It's important to remember that tracking doesn't mean obsessing over every little detail, but having a clear picture of how you're doing and where you stand. This gives you the insight you need to make adjustments to your system if necessary, and to stay motivated as you see your progress unfold. Consistency, and just as consistency is important in taking action, consistency is equally crucial when it comes to tracking your progress. If you're only checking in on your progress once a month, it can be easy to miss the small signs of success or failure along the way. Now, the more frequently you track your progress, the clearer the picture becomes, and the easier it is to spot patterns or trends that could either be helping or hindering your system. Tracking doesn't need to be complicated. You can use a journal, an app, or even a simple spreadsheet to monitor your progress. The goal isn't to make tracking an overwhelming task. It's simply to gather enough data to see how well your system is working. Remember, systems are about small, consistent actions. By tracking them consistently, you create a reliable record of your progress that you can adjust as needed. Tracking also keeps you accountable. When you're able to look back and see the consistent actions you've taken, it reinforces the idea that you're capable of achieving your goals. You're building momentum, and each time you track your progress, you're reminded that you're on the right path.